Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, back again with another view from the van and looking forward and previewing tomorrow's game against Southampton down on the south coast as Ralph's whining, struggling Southampton take on the difficult to crack nut of Newcastle United. Yes, that seemed award-winning Newcastle United. That's what I should have said. Because over the last couple of days, everything, what goal of the month, player of the month, manager of the month, fucking bus driver of the month, cleaner of the month, oh, we're fucking literally talking about cleaners and mopping it all up with regards to awards for the month of October. What a month it was. 6 games in the Premier League played, 5 games won, 1 game cruelly snatched away from us. We felt disappointed coming away from Old Trafford with just a point. And yeah, unbelievable. You know, manager, we're going to clean up the lot, aren't we? We are going to clean up the lot. There's no doubt about it. But it's important to continue the momentum into November. November, obviously, we're only going to have 2 Premier League games. And then we have to pack our toys away and watch funny face Gareth Southgate for the next couple of weeks as he struggles to overcome the likes of the USA and fucking Wales and the likes. I can hardly contain my fucking excitement. It's up there, we're watching fucking Fanny Hans, Richard Keys on fucking BN Sports. It's that level of excitement. Fucking hell, we're maybe not quite as bad as that, but you know, it's getting up there. And talking about Fanny Hans, he's got to be at a similar level to the Southampton manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl, or whatever the fucking hell he wants to be called by. This lad likes a little bit of salt, and then a little bit more salt, and a little bit more salt. Wasn't happy, was he, last time we went down there? Chris Wood and a beautiful back-heeled goal from Bruno give us the victory last time out. In a game that was rearranged, obviously he wasn't happy. It just gave him a ready-made excuse for the inability to get the job done on the park. So yeah, Ralph will be up to his normal tricks, no doubt about it. It's money this and money that and so forth. But you know, I think what that fantastic run for the last month has proven, you know, more proof, if further proof was needed, is that it's not all about money at Newcastle. 6 out of the 10 players, outfield players that is, were here before the takeover. 6 out of 10. You know, you take that into consideration, and it's amazing what better coaching, better fitness, what speaking nicely about the players rather than throw them under the team bus all the time can actually you know, can actually do and what it can actually achieve. You know, that still the majority of these players have been here, you know, under the old regime, under the old ownership, and you know, it's amazing to see. Money, of course, it helps. We had fuck all of it for 14 years, and nobody gave a shit about that. But now we're sort of sprinkling the squad with quality over quantity, with good additions, good footballers. You know, adding bit by bit, slowly but slowly, and slowly but surely. You know, certain people don't like it. It's envious eyes, it's jealousy. Newcastle going places up in the top 4. Potentially could be 3rd this weekend. And then you've got teams like Southampton who still are struggling, you know, down towards the foot of the table. I mean, the 17th at the moment, so it's 17th v 4th. They haven't done great this season. I think 1 win in the last 5 isn't a great record, but look, you know, the matched Arsenal, they've got a point against Arsenal, so you've got to give them all the credit in the world. They did the number over Chelsea as well, so they are capable of rising themselves to the big occasion. And I think what Newcastle need to guard themselves about this weekend is not giving away anything stupidly at the back. So we're talking about free kicks and unnecessary corners. You know, with James Ward-Prowse in their ranks, that is always going to be an avenue for goals. It is always going to get you in with a chance against pretty much any team. He's a lethal weapon for you know, Southampton. There's no doubt about it. Quality footballers, and they've got some good players. not questioning that for a second. Armstrong, of course, ex-Newcastle. Adam Armstrong, he's going to want to be doing one over his former employers. He's going to want to prove a point, isn't he? Clearly. So again, you've got to guard against these things. So looking for Newcastle to continue what we've done really over the past couple of weeks, definitely, and for most of this season, to be honest. And that's been nice and tight at the back. Nick Pope has had to do very little over the last couple of games, and long may that continue. The defence together as a unit has been so solid, and that's why Dan Burn, for example, has stayed in at left back when Target was injured. He's came in and he's kept the shirt. It's unorthodox, playing the centre back out there, but he's done fantastically. The unit has been so great defensively, and the protection from the midfield area has also been top draw. So we continue doing that. We keep tight at the back. We continue to make, to keep the best defence in the Premier League. You would always back Newcastle to be able to get a goal through the press, through the counter attack. Just through good football. We've got good options as well from set pieces, through free kicks, corners and the likes for ourselves with Kieran Trippier. We're going to have, St. Maximin back. He's going to be a massive plus to be able to have back into the armoury going forward. Miggy is absolutely on fire, and is another example of what you can do with good coaching, good fitness, and a pre-season with a competent, good manager, as opposed to a cabbage-headed, useless twat. Yeah, you get me drift. All over the place, we're getting good performances, and that's why we're not sort of changing the team all too much. Players who are coming back from injury are having to settle for places on the bench. It's no longer a shoe-in that they come straight back into the team. So all the lads who go down and who start the game know that they've got to produce, they've got to be at the top of the game, otherwise somebody will jump in to the shoes, perform, and they will lose their place for a prolonged period. Matt Target, prime example of that, although I do think he'll get a start in the Cup, which will be different come midweek. But Newcastle, we're not going to make any changes unless they're enforced at the moment. And unfortunately, because of Aston Villa's style of bitching and play acting and rolling about, and the desperation to try and win some sort of Oscar, because they're not going to win anything on the football pitch. So they're going to go for acting ability, and because of all of that, Joe Linton got his 5th yellow card of the season. That's a 1-game suspension, so there will be one change. But we've seen Maximum coming back and having a couple of cameos off the bench recently. You would imagine it would be a like-for-like change, because obviously Big Joe has been playing to the left. Again, another example of a player who's been managed and coached well. Joe Linton, from striker to attacking midfielder to midfielder, doing really well. Then played out wide left. His physicality, his athleticism, his determination, his team play has been fantastic. But yeah, I'd imagine that's going to be the only change we make when we come to play Southampton. St. Maximum in for Big Joe. Big Joe, we'll see him back for the midweek game in the Cup, there's no doubt about that in my mind. And might be back to his midfield enforcer role, to be honest, in that game. But we'll get to that one later on. It's all about this Southampton game. I think that we're capable of getting goals. Callum Wilson will again want to press the merits of having him in the squad. He'll want to remain fit. I hope he's been taking that night nurse, because he's had a bit of a cold recently. He's had a bit of a cold. No hamstrings now like that, just a bit of a cold. So he'll want to impress, of course he will. He'll want to get on the score sheet. It's all about keeping those numbers up and forcing that fucking fanny-faced twat Gareth Southgate to fucking take him to this World Cup. He should be an absolute walking shoo-in in my book, but of course with Gareth Southgate, when it's anything to do with fucking Newcastle, we all know his salty little bastard agenda, ex-smoggy manager and all that sort of thing, likes to carry a chip on his shoulder. So yeah, Callum Wilson will want to do the business. St. Maximin, he's been given a chance, an opportunity. You can have a start, and that's the change that I can see him doing. And he has to know, if he wants to keep that place, instead of a Joe Linton or a Joe Willock or a Sean Longstaff, whoever that may be when it comes to the next game when everybody's available, he knows that he's got to perform to his very, very best. He's got to provide assists. He can't be having passes go astray. He's got to get goals. The pressure is on. So I'm expecting a good performance from the Saint. He's had a frustrating campaign again. Arguably our talisman at times. He's carried us on on his bastard shoulders as the Saint. And yet now he's just not guaranteed after injuries and a frustrating spell. He's not guaranteed to get straight back in. So yeah, it's up to him. He comes in, he does well. It gives Eddie Howe a major headache for the next Premier League game. Who will start, who will come out, who is going to be on the bench. It's a difficult one. But Saint-Maximin has got to make it difficult. If he has a stinker, then you know straight away that Joe Linton's going to come back in, and the Saint is going to have to again wait patiently. And I don't think that Alistair Maximin does sit and wait patiently very, very well. So he's be desperate to get in, desperate to impress, and desperate to get his season finally going. No doubt about it for me. So yeah, what do you think about the team? Will it be just that one change? Could somebody else come in? Would you maybe play Elliot Anderson out there? He's again, he's fit, he's available. He can do a job out in that area, no doubt about it. Is this the sort of game against the Southampton? No disrespect, that he can come in and do something and get that start. Let me know what you think down below. And how are you feeling confidence-wise, score-wise? I think a 2-0. 2-0's probably a likely result for us. I think we keep it tight. Keep a good control of the game, get our noses in front, and then score another one later on. It's got that feel about it to me. But we've got to be at our top and our very best. And Eddie spoke throughout the press conference yesterday about the challenge now being not to get up to those levels, but to maintain performance levels, to maintain the high levels, the high standards, and to have that repetitive high quality about us. Not to be sort of good one week and then bad and frustrated in the next. It's that consistency of performance that we are desperate now to achieve, and it's that he will be drumming into them, no doubt, on the long trip down from the northeast to the south coast. That, and of course, just don't give away free kicks. Don't let the bastards dive. Don't give Mike Dean on VAR any sort of justification to try and shaft us over. So he will be preaching that, no doubt about it, to the lads on the long trip, down there. I'm confident. I think we can do a job. I don't think this is the best Southampton team. They're under a huge amount of pressure. Things aren't going fantastically well, but they are capable of springing the odd surprise, like I touched on before. The Arsenal game being a prime example of that. Only a couple of games, another week to go of this season. 3 games in a week. It's going to be difficult on the lads, no doubt about that. But yeah, get the 3 points in the bag. And it's so important to try and end this first part of the season strongly, well, confidently, because after that Eddie's touched upon the fact that they will be starting to sit down and planning the January transfer window and what they do from here on in. And look, 2 wins against Southampton and Chelsea would leave us definitely in the top 4, and would give the owners and the custodians of the club food for thought going into this planning. Do you sort of push on and dare to dream and push to see, can we get maybe in the Champions League? Can we do probably the unthinkable and get into a Champions League situation? So these will be the questions that's looked at during this closed period. You go in off 2 defeats and it probably is a little bit deflating, and you're sort of thinking about gradual and baby steps. 2 wins and you're thinking, look, anything is possible. There would then be 1 defeat in the opening part of the season, and that defeat, of course, come through fucking shenanigans, and cheating, and fucking all sorts of shit. So it's like 1 injust defeat all season, and that's got to excite. It's got to excite the owners. They've got high aspirations for the football club. There's no doubt about it. And with that taste and that little chance of trying to get into the top European competition. You just never know. But look, ultimately, I think most of us would have settled for top 10. That's definitely on. I think the most of the fans who were sort of daring to push it a little bit more might have thought, well, there's a possibility of getting into Europe this season. But these 2 games could shape everything, and it'll be exciting coming into January. Players going, players coming in. Again, trying to improve the quality over quantity, of course. We don't need a big sort of firefighting session. We're now just into the fine-tune part of the assignment about improving the squad, so that once there's issues with the first team, you're not having a massive drop off in quality. The likes of the Paul Dummetts of the world might be in a tricky situation. They might, like I say, the Matt Ritchies of the world could be in choppy waters with regards to Newcastle future. But it's step by step. It's evolution, not revolution. Of course it is. But again, it's going to be fantastically exciting times as Newcastle get linked with some great players. And you look at what they've signed so far. Your Trippiers of the world, the Brunos. I'm all for signing more of these type of players all day long. These are good signings. Nick Pope's good signings. Dan Burns, good signings. The homework has clearly been getting done at Newcastle, so it's going to give them a massive opportunity to be able to do that and plan and not have the pressure of games at the same time. So it probably works a little bit in our favour, like that. But look, when you're winning games, when you're playing well, when you're scoring goals, when you're keeping clean sheets, the last thing you want to do is to put your fucking toys away whilst we have to sort of sit and endure a World Cup and stuff. But we've got a friendly announced, haven't we, against Spanish opposition. Friends, you reunited with Florian Lejeune at St James's Park just before Christmas, so that'll be good. It gives us again a little bit of taste of maybe what's to come in future years with European opposition mixed in with Premier League opposition and stuff like that. So yeah, a little bit of a whet the appetite for that. But everything is going well. Shame about Joe Linden. We'll definitely miss him. But there is players to come in there. There is players to come in, and I think Southampton are probably more afraid of us than we are of them. Yes, we're away from home, but I still think we can get plenty of the ball, cause them issues, score goals, and I firmly believe we're more than capable of keeping a clean sheet down there. So let me know what you think below about the team, the future, what you see happening coming up. Obviously 3 games in a week. Will we see changes further down the line? Will there be lots of changes for the Crystal Palace game? Looking forward to going to that one and seeing that one. Because I think there will be changes for that one, because I think the cup competition is a little bit different to the league. Despite the importance of trying to win something, I still think we'll have a strong team out for that one, but I think that's maybe where there will be 1 or 2 changes. Your Matt Targets, your Chris Woods of the world coming into contention, your Ryan Frasers maybe. But that's for a later time further down the line. So yeah, confident for tomorrow, looking forward to the game. There was a time that you would dread going away to Southampton on a Sunday on the TV. You thought I think it's going to be 90 minutes of torture with fucking Bruce Ball and the likes. But this is different times, this is different waters for Newcastle, and who knows where we may finish. Will it be 4th? Will it be 3rd? Come the end of the Premier League weekend. I'm feeling good stuff. I'm feeling good things. Fingers crossed. We were 3rd for large parts from last weekend as Spurs were bottling it at one point against Bournemouth. But yeah, anything can happen. Looking forward to it. And yeah, so we'll be ready for the game tomorrow. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. It's been doing really well recently, jumping up in numbers. We're desperate to get it over the to get it over the 1,000, and so would mean a heck of a lot. We'll be back with a review of the game shortly after full time tomorrow, and then we'll get ready then for the cup game, a hugely important cup game coming up midweek against Crystal Palace before we finish off the Premier League, before we have this mini break against Chelsea. Chelsea's going to be a difficult game. But imagine a win tomorrow takes you into that game, and we could be quite a few points clear of Chelsea. You just don't know. Crazy days, happy days, exciting times for the football club. Let Ralph sit there with through his envious, rose tinted specs down on the south coast. But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. So take care, keep it tuned, speak to you later.